times we need to talk about how everything ties in with payroll, but yeah, take the lead.
Okay. So, Emma, how did you hear about Swipeclock?
I actually heard you from what was it called? Software
Software
something?
advice?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And then they put me in touch because we are looking for a new payroll system that also comes with HR. So he recommended, I think he just set it up. He's like, oh, I recommend Swipeclock. And I was like, okay.
Right on. Well, he definitely steered you in the right direction for a number of reasons. One, the cost of our system is very, very competitive. And then once you factor in payroll, it becomes extremely competitive. But secondly, just what you're able to accomplish within the system. So again, it's a complete labor management solution, to manage the entire life cycle of your employees. So, and the nice thing is you don't have to use everything. So you can just kind of pick and choose what features you would like, but they'll be hanging in the background. So majority of our clients will sign up using, half the system or part of the system today. And then as they grow and their needs change, they simply just turn on the remaining features. And there's really no cost to do that. So where costs may become involved down the road is if we have to set up something or implement or get you trained, right? Because there's a lot that this system can do, and we like to set it up in stages just so we don't overwhelm you with, hey, here's the whole kit and caboodle, try and learn everything all at once, right?
Yeah.
So it can be a lot, but the goal is to streamline your process from A to Z, right? With payroll, timekeeping, HR management. So that being said, kind of steer us in the right direction. What are you looking for? I've got some notes here. It says you're a startup company. You've got about 26 employees, looking for payroll. You need to track PTO, weekly check-ins, performance reviews. You've got different states involved, so that's payroll aspect. But yeah, kind of tell us what you're looking for. Give us a broad view here.
Yeah, I feel like you said everything that we need. So yeah, we are moving. Yeah, we're pretty much a startup. We have 26 employees. We're actually hiring 3 people at the moment. So soon to be 20. Oh, I can't do maths at this. That's only 3. Oh, anyway. Yeah, soon to be larger. And then so we need a kind of a great also because we're remote, right now we're not going back into the office. Onboarding is a huge part of something that is hard. I'm a new employee. I've only been here for a month and a half, and so onboarding was quite difficult. So as the new HR office manager, I really want a system that will help smooth that out, where all of the documents can be in one place. They can just sign that all online, and then it's there on their profile. They don't have to keep asking oh, where is it? There's no because at the moment we're manually tracking all of that. It's just in Google Drive spreadsheets, and it's just all over the place. So onboarding is a huge thing for us right now. For our COO, the biggest thing would be for the HR system to do those weekly check-ins. We're using Work Team right now. And so to report on those kind of things would be great, because we do have weekly, I guess they're performance reviews, but they're more just check in to see how our employees are doing. What did you find challenging this week? How can we help? What are you looking forward to next week? Then we also give out recognition in that as well to our team members. So we have our values, and they give out we call them high fives, but we then calculate how many of our values get recognized to each of our employees. So that's really important for our CEO. That's the biggest kind of point for her. In our payroll, I think we just need the basics, remittances is pretty much it. We're using an accrual system right now for vacation. So having the vacation time linked to the payroll, where someone applies, requests vacation off, and then if it gets approved, for that to automatically transfer over to the payroll system would be ideal. At the moment, it's not, obviously. I'm just doing that manually. So if it's not, then it's not that big of a deal because I do that already.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. They're the three main things that we're looking for.
Okay. Okay. Well, I could hear a little in your voice that you may feel that that's a lot to accomplish, but sitting in my seat and what we can do, that's all easy peasy stuff, right? We can accomplish all of that, no problem, and so much more, so much more. So let me dive into this and interrupt me at any time. I like this to be a conversation. I don't really like to monologue for the next 45 minutes. So if you see something, point it out. If you have a question or if I don't, effectively communicate something, just let me know, okay?
Sweet.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned that you are hiring 3 people now. So
Yeah.
how are you finding these candidates? Are you using Indeed, LinkedIn, word of mouth? What's that process like?
No, it's on our website, but also we use pretty much exclusively AngelList because we are for nonprofits. We're not a nonprofit organization, but we help nonprofits, so we really like that website, I guess.
Yeah, I see that you guys do software for nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, the reason I ask is our system inherently has a recruiting platform, and you can choose to use it or not, it's up to you, but it's a management portal. So I will log into that separate just so I can kind of go in order here. So give me one sec. And first and foremost, everything is cloud-based. So
Cool.
as long as you have access to the internet, you can access this system from anywhere. Same with your employees, okay? So really a good way to think about it is we want to establish how we want the employees to engage with the system, what features and capabilities we want them to have, and through what type of device, right? Mobile phones, computers, tablets, and then they have portals that they can log into. And within that portal, it's a one-stop shop. So they can do everything from punching a clock to record their time in hours each day, manage their time cards as far as keeping track of their hours, send messages to management. In that portal, if you opt or if you need a scheduling program, they can check their schedules, and then you can even turn on the ability for them to swap shifts, add shifts, drop shifts. Of course, everything requires a manager approval. They've also got their...
we don't do by time, we're like salaried, so there's no clocking in or clocking out. But it's good to know that it's available.
Yeah, it's there. And even though they're salaried, I have a lot of clients that still track time of salaried employees, right? They want to make sure, hey, I'm paying you 40 hours a week. I want to make sure that you're working as close to 40 as possible. So, but again, you just turn that clock off and it's just now an HR portal. So, schedules, if they need it, PTO will all be available in there so they can check their totals. And if you need multiple buckets, like vacation, personal, PTO, they can go in there and see what their totals are and quickly review a calendar to see what other days employees have off, submit requests to management, and then there's real-time notifications that go back and forth between management and staff, right? So everything is either text messages or push notifications or emails, right?
Cool.
And then, of course, in their portal, they can have access to all their HR stuff as well. So they can review all their employee documents. You can push out handbooks to them, have them interact, sign off on information, things like that. Okay.
Cool.
So real quick, are you guys based in Canada primarily?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vancouver, BC.
Okay. And do you have any employees in the US or are you strictly in Canada?
Strictly in Canada.
Strictly in Canada. Okay. So Tyler may not have the ability to process payroll in Canada. Tyler, are you there still?
I am. Yeah, we run US payroll. So I think a lot of these solutions could really be helpful for Emma's organization, but unfortunately we wouldn't be able to sync it over and take care of payroll because we're strictly US. So I apologize about that. I should have noted that before. I think a lot of these Swipeclock solutions could still be could still be very helpful though. So
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay. I've done some, and people just think when I say Vancouver, they assume Vancouver, Washington. So it's fine.
Okay. Well, whether you need payroll, I mean, if that's a deal breaker, let us know. But everything as far as the HR management and those tools, yeah, we can satisfy Canadian, Mexican clients, no problem, right? The European market, we start to run into some issues with just like compliances and things like that. So we're a little bit more careful. But so I'll just quickly run through this and let us know your thoughts. Okay, we'll still give you pricing and stuff.
Cool.
So what you're seeing on your screen right now, I'll just briefly touch on this, is the recruiting platform. So this would be a dashboard, and it's all unlimited as far as job creation and candidate management. We just want to know how many users you have. So the users would be management, right? Either admins that have complete rights into the system so they can go in there and they can configure everything, versus hiring managers, which is, hey, I just want you to be involved in hiring of sales reps or customer service. So I'm going to assign those jobs to you, and as candidates apply, you can manage those candidates, provide feedback, move them through the pipeline of your hiring process, and even onboard them if given permission. Okay?
Yeah.
So this can streamline your process simply because you can create all your jobs, have them in one location. You can link it to your careers page. So if you've got multiple job openings, we can create a job board right on your job page, and they can apply directly through your website. But once they hit the apply button, this system will take over so that we can manage all of those candidates as they come through. So they're all going to be sitting in one system. And then forward thinking is part of moving these candidates through the hiring process is right next to their name is the stage. So the stage is customizable to what your hiring process is, right? Some type of, we've gathered your application, we're going to send out an email letting the candidate know we've received it, now it's under review. Then some type of internal review, phone screen, interview, all the way down to hired, right? And we can stay engaged with the candidate. So each stage we can send them an email letting them know, hey, we've reviewed your information, we want to set up an interview or a phone screen. And then our system allows you to create calendar events. So if you utilize a Google or a Gmail account or Microsoft Outlook, you can actually link those two platforms together and create calendar events and self-schedule, phone interviews or on-site interviews if you need to, which is really cool.
Cool, yeah.
Okay. But the best part is once I move a candidate into the hired stage, it's automatically going to push them over into the onboarding system. And like you mentioned earlier, we are just going to upload all of your documentation in a library. And all that documentation is going to include tax information, both state and federal. I'm not quite sure what you guys need up there in Canada, but we provide it down here in the States. I-9s, direct deposit, emergency contacts, reference checks. So we will upload all of that information and have it readily available in your library. And then from there, we simply create an email. So let me log in there and show you where they will go. Come on, what's the password? Passwords are taking over my life.
Yeah, same.
Right? And every day I seem to accumulate more. Okay. So if we kind of shift gears a little bit, the portal I just logged into is a manager's portal, but it can double as a regular employee depending on what you need. So a manager may still need to clock in or out. So in your case, we simply turn that clock off.
Okay,
but
cool.
what becomes important to you is on this right-hand side, the weekly check-ins. So this is a quick and easy way for manager to create check-ins. So you've got the heartbeat, which represents the check-ins. You've got the trophy, which represents a recognition wall. So a way for colleagues to go in there and high-five each other, give kudos or props out to different team members, right? We can track that. And then you've got a suggestion box. And this can be anonymous, so employees can go in there and anonymously leave feedback about the company. You know, hey, I wish there was more Diet Coke in the soda machine, or hey, I wish it was free. But the manager can actually request to whomever left anonymous tip to reveal who left that. So if they wanted to have a more in-depth conversation with that employee, they can submit that request out, and the employee can either accept or deny if they just want to remain anonymous.
Oh, that's really cool.
So, yeah. So it's just a way to stay engaged with your team, right? Wellness checks, check-ins. Hey, I gave you a task or a list of tasks to complete throughout the week. Were they completed, right? So how I access these as a manager is I have a drop-down menu, right? And based on what I'm highlighted here is where I can go into. So right now I'm on my check-ins. So I can create a check-in, or I can view all my check-ins and who's created them, who they've been sent out to as far as the employee goes, and if that employee has responded. So you've got what's outstanding, what's been collected, and then you can even put a scoring on them if you want to. And then, of course, you've got details. So who's sent in the responses, who hasn't responded.
Cool. Okay. Can we have different, obviously, we have different departments, so we have different managers managing different check-ins for their, obviously, departments. Is that,
You sure can. So it all depends on the level of access that we give into this manager's portal, right? So again, you've got an admin, which has complete visibility, and they can configure everything. Or we could create a supervisor. And the supervisor, we could say, hey, you're just in charge of this department. So what do we want you to do within that department, right? You can manage check-ins. You can manage their PTO requests. But they're going to be a little bit more, restricted when it comes to the HR side of things, right? That's going to primarily be reserved for an admin.
Okay, awesome. And so it's so we can assign, like, if there's 5 employees and they all need to go through Carolyn, right? Can those employees, when they submit a vacation request, their vacation requests only go to Carolyn and they don't go to, let's say, David, who's another manager?
Absolutely. So there's a tiered and a level process, and you can have up to 3 layers. Well, the first layer is the employee.
Yeah.
The second layer would be I submit that request to my direct supervisor. They manage that, approve or deny. Then if they approve it, it could go to a third level, which would be the final approver. And then they would have final say on whether it's approved or declined. But if you want to have just, the supervisor be the final stage of that approval process, no problem.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. So same idea is up in the right-hand corner. So right now we're just under engagement, check-ins. I could go to the recognition wall and I could see all the recognitions, or I could filter it by down to the employee level. So if I just wanted to see if anybody's recognized me as a manager / employee, I could check just my own. Who's, given me props or a high five, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right? Or I could just look at the entire organization. Who is giving everybody recognition for a job well done?
Yeah.
Right? And then I can also filter it by what I've sent out to different individuals.
Awesome. Can this be exported as a report, like exported into an Excel spreadsheet?
It sure can. Yep. So you will have a reports menu in here. That's under the admin tab. And yeah, you can create reports. So whatever is being pulled into this system, whether it's timekeeping, HR related, tax information, or recognitions, check-ins, yes, we can report on it.
Awesome.
Okay. And then again, same idea with the anonymous tip or suggestion box. So you can see all the open suggestions. You can see what's under review if you want to have somebody go in there and actually interact with that suggestion box. And then you can unlock requests. So, hey, you left this recognition or this suggestion, but I want to know who sent that suggestion. So I'm going to request that the employee reveal who they are.
Awesome. I like this suggestion box thing.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to just stay engaged with your employees, especially now if everyone's working remotely.
Yeah.
The check-ins is huge, right? Everyone might be a little bit down right now, no human interaction or as much as they're used to. So yeah, I'm going to send out, you know, a check-in to either my team or the entire company. And we actually use this system internally here. So I get a weekly check-in from my HR manager, like, hey, how you doing? Anything you want to talk about? Where are you at? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a really cool system. And everything is accessible through a mobile phone. Right?
Cool.
So they just download the app, and then again, the app can serve as multiple features, right? We can turn a clock on or off. If you do turn it on, you can track GPS with Google, right? They've got their time card. Now this will be helpful because when those vacation requests come through, they will populate on a time card. And ultimately, that is something that would go under review before information is sent to payroll. So even though you are paying everyone salaried, is there any fluctuation in your payroll at all? Or does everyone make the same pay rate across the board every 2 weeks?
Everyone makes the same except for we have, because we have a sales team, they get commissions, and our customer service team gets bonuses. And that's for one payroll, because we do it twice a month. So the first one includes those, and the second one is always the same.
Yep, I'm very familiar with commissions.
Yeah.
How that all works. So we can actually track those bonuses and commissions within this system, right? Mm-hmm. So when those vacation requests come through, they're going to populate on a time card for the managers to see. So for example, let me come into the timekeeping system. So you won't be using this, you know, like some clients that need their employees to clock in and out each day, but we could go in and look at a time card in the future, right? So your time cards, you can leave them blank, or you can pre-populate the hours of the salaried employees.
Yeah.
But what'll happen?
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we kind of have the opposite problem. People usually work way more than they're supposed to. So I'm trying to come up with a system where we can, you know, create some of that as time in lieu for them so that they can take it off at some point.
Absolutely. So what a lot of our clients will do is, even though they're salaried, they will ask employees to clock in and out so they can track and manage the overtime. Then, if they do hit any overtime, so let me find a time card with some overtime, right? We will track that automatically based on your rules. So is it 8 hours a day? Okay, if you work 9, you've got 1 hour of overtime versus 40 hours in a week. So I don't care if you work 3 10s and then, you know, 12 hours one day or whatever, as long as you don't, you know, surpass 40 hours in a work week, right, we're good. Yeah. But then what they'll do is they will roll over that overtime into a comp time bucket.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so rather than paying out additional funds, they'll roll it over and say, hey, if you work any overtime, we're going to roll that over into time off that you can request.
Yeah.
Right, we call it comp time. So that's just an idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a couple of different ways that ultimately you can manage that within the system, and it's all custom, right? So what you choose to do is different than the other 50,000 clients that use this system. No two accounts are the same. So we work with you and your team, and we custom design everything. Okay? So the time cards, you may grow into those, but they're simply just logging the time. And again, if they're salaried employees, we can just input their total hours so that it's the same every pay period. If they start punching a clock, we can reference their punches against their hours worked to track that overtime, and then roll that over that overtime into a comp bucket. So if I go back to here and I go to my time, I can go to my time off. So they will have a section that keeps track of all of their PTO. Okay. And you can create the buckets that you need, and you can label them whatever you would like.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so this one just has 4, but I could add a 5th one and call it maternity. I could add a 6th one and call it COVID hours.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason we do that is so that we can track, PTO independently, but also when employees go to request time off, they actually get to select where they want to withdraw those hours from.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so yeah, we could create one that call it comp time, and they could sit there and use comp time, which is hours they've already worked before they even use their PTO. And we could put a policy in place that says you have to use your comp time before you can use any other PTO.
Yeah, that's great, so that they can get paid out for the PTO. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, all sorts of different rules and customizations that we can do.
Cool.
Okay? So what happens is when those requests are submitted, right, they'll just go through and they'll select a day that they want off, what bucket they're pulling from, how many hours they want, leave a comment, oh, I'm going to Vegas, woo, whatever. Once they submit that time off request, their manager will be notified. And if they're using the mobile app, they'll be sent a push notification and a text, or not a text, an email.
An email, yeah.
Okay. And then those PTO requests, so if I'm in my manager portal here, I can go to manage time up in the left, and it will bring me to this portal. Okay. Now this portal is strictly timekeeping, the timekeeping side. Okay. So this is your dashboard right here. And on the left is how you navigate. So right at the top under the main menu is where your time off request will populate. And again, there is a mobile app that managers can use. It's not as in-depth because there's so much in this portal, but they can download that app as a supervisor and manage those PTO requests as they come through.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And then everyone has a reference calendar. So employees have a calendar that they can look at, see what days they have off, what's pending, same with their colleagues. And if it's in just one department, they can't see the entire company, they can just see their own department. Right? And then all we have to do is expand these boxes and we can see which employee made the request on what day, the time they want to take off, what bucket they're pulling from, and then how many hours they have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then again, you tell the system, well, what happens if they don't have enough? Do I let them go into the negative and they can earn it back? Or do I simply say, yeah, you can request it, but you don't have enough, so it falls into an unpaid category?
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Same with at the end of the year. What happens? Does it reset? And does it start over? And do they accrue it throughout the year and then they max out at 80 hours of PTO? Or do you give them a lump sum? Like you get 80 hours starting January 1st, and you either use it throughout the year or at the end of the year as of December 31st, whatever your balance is, we pay you out.
Yeah, that's
right?
What we have right now.
Yeah. So it's all custom, right? You just tell us so that we can automate everything, right? Get rid of that manual crap, system. It's terrible, right?
Yeah.
It's time consuming, and the human error, right, is crazy. If you're just not on your game all the time, a 2 can look like a 5, a 3 can look like an 8 sometimes. I mean, I do it all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So the PTO is super simple. Then what happens is it does show up on the time cards. So let me go find one here. So same with your holidays, right? So whatever holidays, if they're paid, we just give you a list and you say, yep, this is a paid holiday, this is a paid holiday, and is it applied to every employee, or are there certain rules that they have to abide by in order to get paid for holidays? Right? And then those will pre-populate in the system. And then same with vacation. Let me see if I can find a vacation day here. Come on. I think you get the idea. It'll just populate on that pay period as a vacation day.
Yeah.
So that when you run a report, and you submit that information to payroll, it separates out, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it'll add, you know, here's their hours worked, their salary, so it's always at 80 hours, right? But 8 hours of that was holiday for Labor Day, and 8 hours of that was PTO because they were out sick.
So yeah, it'll pay it out of those different, yeah.
Yep, it'll automatically pay it. And then once they take that time off, these totals will automatically change.
Okay, cool.
So these totals are up to date and accurate to the day, right? So on September 25th right here, once I take the 8 hours on September 25th, this bucket will be reduced by 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. And then some companies, they accrue time. So every 2 weeks, you know, I'll give you 2 hours of PTO if you meet certain criteria. So when the pay period ends and the new one begins, this will climb by 2 hours.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So everything is automatic. Right. And there's essentially two ways that companies award paid time off, right? You've got a lump sum. So that's, I just give you X amount of hours right out the gate. Or if you're a new employee after 90 days, I give you, you know, 40 hours of PTO and 30 hours of sick.
Okay.
Other companies say, well, I'll give you 30 hours of sick, but your PTO, you have to work here, and the longer you work here, the more you earn. Right?
Okay.
And that's called an accrual. So an accrual is going to count up and down.
Yeah.
A lump sum is just going to deduct down, right? I give you 40 hours, you take 8, now I'm going to reduce that down to 32.
Cool, yeah.
Okay.
At the moment, we're using an accrual system, so I think that might, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of systems fall short, is on the accrual policies, because every company gives different amounts of PTO, and there's different criteria. And I have seen some crazy PTO policies, right? Like down to the 7th decimal point, 0.00165 hours of PTO. I'm like, what? That's, okay, whatever. But we've never run into a policy that we can't fit. Okay. So let me go back into, oh, I was already there. So everything as far as timekeeping goes, PTO tracking, recruiting, simple. Now, if I click on the HR tab, this is where the fun begins. So if I've been using the recruiting platform here, and I move someone into hired, once I hit confirm stage change, they're going to move from the recruiting platform, and they're going to populate on my new hires dashboard right here.
Cool.
Okay. And what'll happen is it's going to pre-populate. Oh, I guess I can just show you real quick. If I go to add a new hire, so you can do this manually if you need to, but it's going to pre-populate all of their employee information.
Okay, cool.
Okay, So it's going to reduce, again, the manual entry. So let me just run through this. Email address, bam. Bam, sales, hire date, we will go the 28th, and then you just select the states. Okay, add a welcome message. That'll be in the email that we send them. Save and continue. Now what I'm doing is up here at the top, I'm selecting the documents that we've uploaded into our library, and we're building our new hire packet.
Okay, cool.
So tax information, if you need WOTC or ACA information, we lay the foundation, but then you'll go back in and overlap the different documentation that you require for them to complete. Okay, so I'll just deselect those. Then you've got your custom documents. So these are company handbooks, policy procedures, driving regulations. I mean, whatever they need to complete. And if you need to upload a new document on the fly, you can simply do that as long as it's in digital form already sitting in your computer.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So then once I select the documents, I just continuing the process. Now it's questionnaires. So maybe there's additional questionnaires, right? Drug policies, ethics and code of conduct. Are we going to do direct deposit? Do we want to know emergency contacts? And then we've got pre-bill acknowledgements, right? I understand and certify that everything I'm providing to you is accurate and legit. I understand that this is a drug-free company and I will randomly submit to drug tests, whatever. You create these, right? But we give you templates. So if you want to use our templates, use them. If you want to create your own, go for it.
Cool.
Right? And then custom questions. So a lot of companies will nowadays send them a personalized questionnaire, right? Do you have a nickname? You're going to be wearing a uniform. What name do you want on your name tag? Do you have any allergies for when we have company parties? What's your favorite outdoor activity? I mean, you name it, right?
Yeah.
Because we can store all of that in their profile, right? So traditionally, every employee has a profile and it's sitting in a manila folder in a big file cabinet in the HR office.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is we're taking that entire file cabinet and we're throwing it online. Okay.
Super cool. Yeah.
So I just build my packet, and then once I finish everything, I just review, make sure that I've got all of my information, right? Certify this is a new hire. Once I hit complete, bam, sit back and relax, because now it's falling onto that employee or that new hire to receive the email. And let me pull that up. So you may have heard my phone, it just notified me that I've got an email. And here it is. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Oh, hang on. Wow. Stupid controls, get out of the way. Okay. Let me open up this email and bring it over here. So here's the email that I just received. Okay. Now, icon is just the demo account that we're working in. So it will say your, and then the name of your company, which is, I can't think of it. Yep, Keela. So this will all be customized to your name and who they're working with in your organization. Okay. Now, this is all a secure platform, and it gives them a week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. If they don't come in here and access it, this link will expire, right? Because we use a secure file transferring platform. Okay. So all they have to do is click this link, and they are going to say, okay, verify which email, so we know that it's you. Submit. Create a password, so that if you need to come back into the portal and let's say you got halfway through the paperwork and your kid broke his arm and you got to take him to the hospital, you can come back and not have to start over.
Yeah.
Okay. Enter a cell phone number. So one, we can contact you, but also in case you forget your username and password, you can reset it yourself.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Save and continue. And now they're actually onboarding themselves, but it doesn't look like it. Right? So whatever my social security number is, bam, I'm a male, my birth date, I'll just go, sure, right there, my address. So you can see how easy this is.
Yeah.
Happy Street, SLC, Utah, 84121. Oh, why are you not registering my keyboard? There we go. 84121. Okay. And then again, phone number. Save and continue. Now, I'm going to create a signature so I can verify all my documents, right? You can attempt to draw it, but mine looks like crap, so I'm just going to put my name in, select the coolest font. Now I've created an e-signature, so everything that I'm about to sign off on is legitimate.
Cool.
Okay? Complete that. Now guess what? Now I'm on to the paperwork. So here's my I-9. One click there, and I'm done. My I-9 form is done.
Cool.
Now I've got my W-4. Come in here, or yours might be different up there in Canada. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. That was going to be my next question. We have like federal and would we be able to put our specific forms online so that it's easy for them to fill out like this, or?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We just provide you with the documents, but because you're in Canada, you may need to, to upload your own. We just won't supply them, right? We only supply those of the U.S. because we're U.S. based.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I just completed my tax form. I mean, you can see how easy it is, right? Like it basically just holds their hand.
Yeah.
And then I just continue through the process. So here's the documents that they've uploaded. So the company handbooks, the policies, procedures. Cool, I agree to it. Save and continue. Now, all the while, you on your side can track the progress, right? If they need to go back in as the employee and review their documents, they've got them right here. So they can actually download and save them as a PDF form, right? So they're just going to walk through this new packet. I mean, it doesn't get any easier, right? We're going to do a paper check, right? Who's, we'll do my mom. Right, she's my mother.
That's a cool name. I've never heard anyone called Bren.
It's actually Brenda, but she hates the duh, so she goes by Bren.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I will bring my I-9. No food allergies. So again, that's just all custom stuff. So now it's training, right? I've sent them training docs. So I don't want to walk through all that, but you get the idea, right? How easy this whole process is, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So if I log out here and I go back here, let's see if this will allow me, or if it, nope. It only allows me to be in one at a time. So let me go back in. Mary Simpson. Gonna go back to my HR tab. And on the left, I'm gonna go to my new hires. There I sit.
Awesome.
Okay.
What are the different colors? Why is Annie Swan green and like TJ?
Good question. So we color coordinate it. So at a quick glance, we can see who's in process, yellow, and you can change that. And you can actually see where they're at. Okay, so he's almost done. Then you've got green, which means he's completed and it's waiting for my review. So he's completed all the stages. And then I've got all of his paperwork here that I can pop open in a PDF form and review. Right? And then there's a red. I didn't see a red.
No.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
So a red basically means it's an incomplete setup. So I've started building their packet, but I haven't emailed the employee the packet.
Okay.
So it's waiting for me to finalize the documents, add questionnaires, and then email it out to them.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. So it's all color coordinated. Right?
Cool.
So all you have to do is go back in, review all their documents, and then you complete and add to payroll. Right? Now, with Tyler, when we one-click add to payroll, it pushes them into payroll and sends all their pedigree information as well as their tax information. Unfortunately, Tyler can't do payroll in Canada.
Okay.
So what we would do is we would simply export that information into like a CSV or a few other formats so that you could import it into your payroll system.
Okay.
So it's still easy to export the data. It's just not automatically pushed.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
From there, if I go back to my HR tab, I can go to my employees. And this is where that manila folder is, so to speak. So if I click on Jake here, I can custom design these profiles. But within this profile, each one has their file cabinet. And that's where you can quickly find whatever documentation you need. So their onboarding paperwork, their W-4, or their tax information, performance reviews, merit increases, disciplinary actions, all of that is going to be stored right here.
Cool.
Okay? Through the center here, these are all custom fields. Okay? So you can actually design your own headers and track anything from driver's licenses to certifications to information about that employee. So preferences, even their benefits. And at the end of this year, you will be able to do a benefit enrollment through this system.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll work with your third party, and you will be able to link our two systems together where you can actually walk them through, just like I did the onboarding paperwork, and you can have your plans available, right? But it's all, I know healthcare is, or is it, I don't want to say it's free in Canada, but it's government paid, right? So do you guys even get involved in any of that?
Yeah, no, not really. We just have to register them because we do provide other benefits, like additional benefits, and we pay for that. So yeah.
Awesome. So you could just track whether or not they've been registered, and if they've got a registration ID, put that in here. But then the other benefits that you guys include, yeah, we could track them through this system.
Yeah.
Right? Or manage them, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right? So this will house all of that HR documentation that you need. It'll give you the check-ins. It'll give you the performance review capability, right? But then you've also got like tasks. So over here on the left, you've got like tasks and alerts. So let's say, for example, I've updated the company handbook, or we're going to do a new benefit selection or something like that. So I could create a workflow. And that workflow is, hey guys, we've updated our company handbook. Please see page 12, section B, subheader C, and review that. And then I need you to sign off on it and send it back to me. So I could come in here and add a new workflow, and I could name it whatever I would like.
Yeah.
If I need to include or categorize that workflow, I can. Provide a message to what they're doing. Upload the document that I need them to review. Add any additional questions. Right? So I can just quickly do this. And then I select which employees I want to send it to. And then, do I need them to upload anything else?
Okay.
And then when's the due date?
Okay.
Right? So basically, I create that workflow, I push it out. All the employees, if they go to their dashboard, they're going to get an alert. And do you see this little red bell up in the top right-hand corner?
Yep.
So when you send them new documents, if they've got a task or a check-in to complete, it will show up as an alert right as they log into their portal, either on their mobile phone or a computer or a tablet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Then they can access the paperwork down here in the Hub Docs and links. So all of this is the documentation that you're sending them.
Cool. Yeah,
right?
That's cool.
So so all they have to do is pop it open, review it, sign it, and then you can track it in the workflow. So that's what that progression bar is here's how many it's in progress to. So that's, I've sent it to 50 employees, 1 has submitted it back, and 0 have reviewed. So I can actually track the progress.
Okay, cool.
Right? And then if you want to tie an alert to it, you can. They're just emails for now, and it'll be a one-time alert, maybe the day before or a week before, saying, hey guys, I need this done by this day, please go in and do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then of course you've got your reporting. So anything that we're pulling into this system, you can actually create your own custom reports. Right? So these are all custom made, but we do give you templates, right? Example reports. And if I want to create my own report, I just go to the far right and I hit the plus sign. Bam. And I name it. I can put in a description. I can label it, or if I need to add a new label, I can. And then down here at the bottom, I actually build it. And how I build it is the available fields. So do I need employee information? If so, add what I want, right? Just drag and drop.
Okay.
Drag and drop, right? If I need to add custom fields, whatever I need, right? Just drag and drop. And then that report, once I save it, it's there forever, so I don't have to continually build it.
Okay, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So super, super simple. So I know we've got about just a few minutes remaining, but I'm okay to run a few minutes longer. But do you have any questions at all?
No, so far it looks good. I do need to actually go soon. I have a back-to-back meetings today, so I will need to jump off.
Sure.
But no, everything looks good. I have a couple more demos with some other companies as well. So
yeah, take a look.
Yeah. So yeah, just send me the pricing, everything. I wrote down some comprehensive notes. But I see you're recording it. If you could send me the recording, and I can send this to like my manager and stuff.
I sure will. Yeah. And our pricing is extremely simple. It's just a month-to-month pay-as-you-go. So there's no annual contracts. There's no base fees. It's just based off of employee usage per month, right? So, for example, if you started October 1st, you would receive your first bill in November, and you would be billed for how many employees use the system in October.
Okay,
right?
cool.
So your bill will fluctuate up and down. And then you just have a one-time setup, implementation, and training fee. And it's nothing egregious. You're usually a couple $100, and that's just a custom design everything for you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'll send you some pricing. What's your timeline? Are you just kind of checking things out, or are you guys like looking to implement something soon?
No, we're just checking things out. We will probably, we're not in a rush. Yeah, we're looking for probably January.
Okay. Good to know. So I'll make note here. Our system is typically, it takes about 7 to 10 days to get you set up and trained.
Okay.
The closer we get to the end of the year, the busier we get.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
everybody wants a new system, and everyone waits till December to make a decision, which is understandable. So that lead time can easily stretch out to 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And our queue is first come, first serve. So once we get the documentation in place, we just get you over the team, and we get rocking and rolling.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So I'll put all this in an email for you, and then do you want me to check back with you, or, how do you like follow-up to happen?
Yeah, follow-up via email is best.
Email? Okay.
Yeah. And then,
all right.
that'll be fun.
Okay. Well, Emma, I appreciate your time. I'll get you the information, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You're welcome. You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.